Imagine this. You're late for work, the fuel light has been blinking for 2 days, and you roll into the station thinking you made it just in time. What you don't realize is that every one of those miles on near empty wasn't free. Behind the scenes, your fuel pump ran hotter than it should. Sediments at the bottom of your tank got stirred up, and your filters took the hit. In today's video, we're unpacking the hidden cost behind these little close calls, and how that one drive might already be wearing your car down. Before we jump in, please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on your notification for more amazing car maintenance content. Think that topping off the tank after the pump clicks is harmless? That little squeeze for a few extra cents may be the start of repairs that run into the hundreds. Most drivers don't think twice about it. Maybe you want a round number to show on the pump, or you want the gauge to point as high as possible. It feels satisfying to fit just a bit more in, but what you can't see is how that extra splash ends up where it doesn't belong. When the nozzle shuts off automatically, it's not doing it to annoy you. That click happens because the tank already has the level it's designed to handle. Adding more fuel after that forces raw gasoline into parts of the car that were engineered only for vapor. Picture a system that's supposed to breathe in fumes, like a filter that only expects light air passing through it. Now imagine liquid fuel bubbling up and drowning that system. Something delicate never built to deal with raw liquid suddenly gets overwhelmed. The piece that takes the biggest hit is called the charcoal canister. This small container works like a sponge, trapping gasoline fumes so they never escape into the air. Under normal conditions, it only needs to soak up vapor, which is easy. But when you keep forcing liquid gasoline past the point where the pump clicked off, the canister fills up with actual fuel, and there's no easy way back. Gasoline doesn't evaporate out of it the way vapor does. Instead, the canister becomes saturated, useless, and eventually damaged. Mechanics see this scenario regularly. Shops often trace failed emission components back to overfilled gas tanks. A replacement charcoal canister doesn't come cheap either. Depending on the vehicle, you're looking at anywhere between $200 to $600, not including the inconvenience of your car being in the shop. Think about that for a second. The 50 cents you fought to squeeze in could be the most expensive fuel you've ever bought. And that's only the start. A ruined canister can cascade into other problems. Once it's overloaded, the rest of the evaporative emission system struggles to regulate pressure properly. Suddenly, the engine may not breathe the way it should. Performance drops, fuel efficiency suffers, and even the cleanest running vehicle can start failing state emissions tests. That's not just another expense. It's a headache that can sideline your car until it's fixed. All from one harmless habit at the pump. The important detail is this: the nozzle shuts off for a reason. When you keep going past the first click, you're not getting ahead. You're slowly undermining a critical system in your car. Skipping that last squeeze protects your engine, protects your wallet, and saves you from visits to the mechanic you didn't plan on making. The best practice is to let the pump stop on its own and walk away. But overfilling is only one everyday fueling habit that sneaks up on drivers. Some mistakes don't start when you finish pumping. They begin with the grade of fuel you choose right from the start. Ever wonder if it really matters whether you pick regular or premium at the pump? Most people figure gas is gas, and the only question is how much you want to spend. It's a quick decision, one that happens almost automatically. But those labels on the pump aren't just there for marketing. Ignoring them could quietly put more stress on your engine than you realize, even if it doesn't show up right away. A lot of drivers fall into the same two camps. Some assume that going for higher octane must automatically mean better performance, thinking premium equals protection. Others do the opposite, pumping the cheapest regular every time because it saves a few dollars at each fill-up. The thinking seems harmless. If the car runs, then it must not matter. But what you don't see is how carefully your vehicle has been calibrated to expect a very specific octane range. And when that balance is disrupted, it throws off more than just fuel efficiency. Engines are designed around the timing of combustion inside each cylinder. Fuel with too low of an octane rating for your vehicle can ignite too early, before the spark plug fires. That rapid detonation is what mechanics call knocking. And it can happen long before the average driver notices anything is wrong. Over time, those micro-explosions strain moving parts and increase wear in areas that already run under heavy pressure. The scary part is you can rack up thousands of miles before the results become obvious. It helps to think of it like training a professional athlete on the wrong diet. At first, they'll keep running, keep jumping, and keep competing because their body can work around the imbalance. But over weeks and months, the output starts to weaken, recovery slows, and injuries pop up. The same thing happens with your car. Starving it of the right fuel isn't an instant failure. It's a slow slide that ends up hitting you where it hurts the most, in performance and repair costs. Automakers warn that persistent use of the wrong octane can wear down piston rings and even damage exhaust valves, parts that aren't cheap or easy to replace. That means a decision made in 30 seconds at the pump could shorten the life of key components worth thousands of dollars. And here's where it gets tricky. Some drivers believe premium should always be better, no matter what the manual says. But if your engine isn't built to compress fuel at that higher resistance level, those extra dollars literally burn away with no added benefit. So you're stuck with two expensive mistakes. Use too low of a grade, and you're stressing your engine part by part. Use premium when your car isn't built for it, and you're wasting money without reward. It's a lose-lose scenario that's easy to avoid. The safest, smartest move is to follow exactly what your manufacturer recommends. That way, you're not gambling on myths or guesswork each time you fill up. And if using the wrong grade stacks up hidden damage slowly, running your tank near empty threatens your car in a much more immediate way. We've all done it. Watched the fuel light flick on and thought, I can stretch this another 20 miles? Maybe the station is too far out of the way, or you tell yourself you'll catch it after work. It feels like you're saving a little time, maybe avoiding an unnecessary stop, but every extra mile on near empty is putting stress on parts of your car you never see. What looks harmless on the dash can actually chip away at your car's reliability mile by mile. Inside the tank, gasoline isn't just fuel. It also acts like a cushion and a coolant. When the level drops to fumes and the pump struggles to stay submerged, things start happening you might not imagine. Dirt, rust flakes, or other particles that naturally settle at the bottom of the tank suddenly get stirred back up and pulled toward your filter. That filter has one job: to block debris before it reaches the injectors. But forcing it to handle a concentrated sludge at the tail end of your fuel supply makes it wear out faster. And then there's the pump itself. It's an electric motor designed to sit in liquid fuel, which constantly cools and lubricates it. When your tank runs close to empty, that cooling effect disappears and the pump heats up. The hotter it runs, the shorter its lifespan becomes. Think of a laptop that loses its fan. Sure, it'll still turn on, but with every session overheating takes its toll. It's not an instant breakdown. It's the kind of heat damage that builds quietly until one day it just won't work at all. Studies show that repeated near-empty driving raises the risk for clogged filters and faulty fuel injectors. And once injectors start spraying unevenly, the entire combustion process goes off balance. Misfires, rough idling, and sudden loss of power can all be traced back to this snowball effect. Replacing a single fuel injector can cost a few $100s. A failed pump? That repair often hits just as hard, and neither can be avoided once the damage is done. Here's the kicker. Running low doesn't just threaten the pump or injectors. Misfires caused by restricted fuel flow send unburnt gasoline into the exhaust system. That raw fuel damages the catalytic converter, one of the most expensive pieces to replace under your car. So what started as, "I'll get gas tomorrow," can spiral into repairs that run into the thousands. The dangerous part is how quietly the damage builds. Your car doesn't complain loudly the first time you run on fumes. It starts as subtle wear, small amounts of stress the system absorbs. But when it happens repeatedly, the signs appear only after major wear has already set in. By the time the pump seizes or the converter fails, the problem is too far gone. The fix couldn't be simpler. Instead of draining every last drop, make it a habit to refuel when your gauge hits a quarter of a tank. That single habit saves your pump from overheating, your filters from clogging, and your converter from unexpected stress. Taken together, running low, using the wrong grade, and overfilling form a trifecta of avoidable damage. But knowing these risks turns simple awareness into prevention. Small fueling habits might seem harmless, but stacked over time, they create the kind of damage that leads to expensive repairs. Overfilling, ignoring fuel-grade recommendations, and running near empty don't cause instant breakdowns. They weaken your car piece by piece until one day the bill arrives. The good news is, every one of these mistakes can be avoided. Start fueling smarter today. Stop topping off, follow your manual, and keep at least a quarter tank. Share this video so others avoid those costly surprises. Remember, mindful fueling isn't about pennies at the pump. It's about years of reliable driving. That's all for today. Make sure you like the video and share your thoughts about this video in the comment section below.